Welcome to Conscious Gatherers. Tonight's episode is number 99, and today's date is July 25th, 2023. Welcome, everybody. My name is Beverly Thompson. I'm with AJ Royce.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay, we have a few things that have come up, and obviously that happens every time we're on this, but anyway, it's really what's going on Earth, and one thing we're going to talk about is relationships. That was a conversation today, and also I've been seeing relationship. You want to call them issues or realizations?
Mm-hmm.
It's really more of a realization.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, why am I doing this?
Get things cleared up now.
Get them cleared up, or you realize why the relationship's there, and then you move on.
Yeah. Sometimes you find out that the relationship's not built on solid ground.
Yeah. And it's something you think you want.
Yeah.
But it may not. Well, put it this way. It's what you want to understand yourself that much better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an unconscious need or want that we have as humanity have, and what has gone on before, where we try to do the best for everybody else, and sometimes that is not welcomed by that other person or group or whatever it may be.
And you end up shorting yourself.
So we've got Royce has come up with some really great sayings or words that points. Okay, thank you. I'll let you say. You're the one who's coming up with this. So, but I think it was great. Go ahead.
So you want that now? Okay.
Well, yeah. Like you can start talking about, just talking about relationships first, and or go ahead with the points.
Yes. Okay. I'll do the points. Point number 1: do a good deed, but don't be a good deed doer. And that might sound like a stupid thing to say, but that term, good deed doer, is like a pious self-image. In my book called When the Night Comes Creeping, there's a short line in there that says, when good deed doers horn in, when uninvited, nothing good comes from that mix. So just do that as a check on yourself. Say, am I doing a good deed, or do I think that I'm a good deed doer? And
yeah, that's one of the things, if you don't mind me saying, breaking in, is we've been taught to always help others, and that's exactly what we're doing. But we got to realize we have to help ourselves. And we think, the brownie points in the church or whatever. I used to think that way once upon a time. And that is to assist where you're really not invited, and because it makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it's actually being disrespectful to other people when you just horn in and take over, you know. Okay, point number 2, and this has to do with our communication skills. Say what you mean and mean what you say, but don't be mean. So if we can speak with kindness to each other, but actually speak with each other and express what's on your heart with being kind, then the other person isn't left wondering what in the world you were talking about, or isn't left wondering if you're even sitting there because you're not talking. How can you know what's on somebody's mind if you don't communicate?
And to communicate openly like that, the other person, when you're speaking from the heart, they may not take it I'm saying may not take it personally, because it's really about yourself, not the other person.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Point number 3, strings are for reminding yourself of what you need to do. They have no place in our personal interactions with each other. So cut the strings.
Mm-hmm.
When you have strings attached to everything you think, do, and say, then there's no way that anybody can please you.
Yeah. Yeah. And can we cut? Say it another way. Be not attached.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, that's going to pull on you. That string's going to pull tighter on you, and tighter on you, yeah. And that's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
Much less yourself.
Okay. That's absolutely. Point number 4. Pray and meditate for the highest good to be realized for others, as opposed to what you think is the best thing for them. So it's like no strings attached with any of this.
Mm-hmm. And that also goes into healing.
Yes.
And many people will pray for healing. And it depends how you look at the word healing. But you usually want that person to get well. Is that really what they want?
Yeah, so the communications, again, ask. If somebody requests some healing energy directed towards someone else, you really need the person's permission to do that, or else you're not being respectful of their wishes, of their bodies, of their minds.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Those are the points that I had to offer.
Yeah. So just to really, when you look at all of your relationships, just start thinking about how attached we are to somebody else's wants and desires, because they think that they should match yours, and that's one of your points. And it's like, cut those strings. I mean, all the things that you said, cut those strings. Otherwise, mm-hmm. Again, it's going to pull on you. And are you really helping them? No. I know I'm repeating what you said.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, wow, look at this.
Yeah, and it's even in in our day-to-day conversations with each other, somebody might express to their friend, hey, I would really like, I'd really like to do this. Well, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
You just tread all over somebody's hopes and desires.
Then it kind of goes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
So what are you doing that for?
Mm-hmm.
Cut those strings on what your idea is for that other person, and well, good for you.
Yeah.
If you don't agree.
The other thing on relationships is we all have, well, I can say it for myself because I've seen it many, many times over and over, that some people are very comfortable being the victim.
Yeah.
And they'll always say, okay, this is what I got going on, which you can express, but express it over and over and over again, and you see the patterns that continue on and on. It's like, okay, you can lend an ear, and that's fine, but when it continues on, it's like, you really want to continue with that, and it usually scares people away.
Yeah, but if you're a really close friend and you care for this person, then it might be a good thing to do to say, would you mind if I said something? Do you want to, or I can back off, and that's fine. Again,
you're asking for permission.
Yes. Yeah. And if they want it, then they can take it, and if they don't, then they can just throw it away.
Yeah, I've seen it where it's happened with people, but they don't even understand that they're playing the victim card.
Yeah.
And then it repeats.
It's a broken record.
A broken record, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you realize this person loses a lot of friendships because Are they speaking the truth of themselves because they think they're beyond that, but then they go right back to being the victim, and then they're trying to please everybody else to make themselves feel better, yet they're not being treated very nicely.
And I have been there, done that, you know, with all of these things, been there, done that. That's why I can say it. It's what I have seen. You know, it doesn't help when you play the victim card. It doesn't help even when you don't know you're playing the victim card, because it's still the victim card.
You're immersed in it. So, you know, I feel some of this is going to continue on because of everything that's been going on this earth, which we're going to get into some of that in a moment. That people will feel like victims because as the truth comes out and they've been lied to, and there's going to be a lot of holy, you know what, and it's just working through that in these stages of what we have bought into in the many, many lifetimes that we've been here on this earth. And those are being discontinued.
And it's a good thing to be able to see it clearly, but to see it clearly and let it go. You know, try not to take it personally. It's like, okay, this is exactly what happened. I can see it clearly now. What am I going to do next? Learn from it and let it go.
I don't know if you realize it, but that's one of the things I was going to share tonight.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't. No, I thought it was funny, and my mirror is smiling. And I was going to end with this, but I'm going to just go ahead with this one right now.
Sure.
All right. This came to me just actually about half hour ago, so I'm going to just share it as I have it written here. Can you see clearly now? So, like, okay. If not, you soon will. So that's one of the reasons why we're sharing all this. All is coming to a head for all to be disclosed. Now, I'm repeating a lot of things that we have brought up in other podcasts, but I think it needs to be repeated over and over again because the importance of what's going on with us right now. Okay, so I'll continue. Understand the confusion that is and will take place. Take another's hand until they feel safe. And that's helping another only with their permission, by the way. And eventually they'll drop your hand and they say, okay, I'm fine.
Like a little child. I can walk by myself now.
Yeah, let go. I don't want to hold your hand anymore. So, but to take another's hand, and obviously that's a metaphor for life, but to assist them. Okay, realize the importance of the events that are ramping up. We're like, oh God, again. I mean, or this continues. Is this going to be over? I mean, it goes on, and now people are getting tired of it.
Well, when the poop goes so deep,
you
know, it takes a bit of prying to get it out.
Okay.
I wasn't talking about anatomically.
I'm making a face over here like, ooh, okay. I guess it could be a lot of different ways. All right. All right. So realize that the importance of the events that are ramping up, and they're still ramping up. And it's like, oh my God, look what's going on. Is this really true? How can this be true? And all of those things are going to be coming up. And a lot of them are going to be unbelievable as we see it. And then I was like, it's really what's happened. And so can you see clearly now?
Yeah. It, as they say, it is what it is. If you can look at it and say, well, it is as it is, and that's right now, but that's not how it's going to be.
It's not, yeah, exactly. It's not how it's going to be, and remember that. So the governments will fail or cease to be. So always act in kindness with what is going on. Release any ego, which is the point that Miss Royce was pointing out. pointing out. Anyway, release any ego that can hold you back from understanding the greatness of humanity. Many will struggle and not survive. always wish them well as they continue their journey. That means, out of body.
Yeah, because we don't die.
You don't die, exactly. Be sure to move on in your journey of awakening to a whole new world. It is you, each of you, deciding what paths you take. The paths do not look alike, and there lies the beauty. It is a new adventure. Be wise, be diligent, be understanding, respectful. New eyes cast upon the waters of new life now breaking forth.
Hear, hear.
All right. Okay. Earlier, both Royce and I received more information, and we're going to share that with you. And I didn't know who goes first, who goes second here. I think I'll go first.
Okay.
All right, and then because mine is a little more simply said, the usual, and hers is a little deeper. So here goes. And some of this is also repeats what I just shared with you, but let's go with it. Okay, a big change is upon you. The magnificence of being is being shown. Some will see it, others will not. Be not attached to what another chooses. Again, what we talked about. Yeah. So many opportunities will be presented. Go deep within to see what resonates for you. Time sequencing will seem out of whack. Hold on to that thought for a while. Trust your inner vision. And I was seeing, this is, which I thought was a whole nother subject. But anyways, I was seeing these, I'm called them connector chords between our sun and each planet in our solar system. And so I was told, they're planetary connector chords in our solar system. And other solar systems have their own ways, I guess, their chords to their sun or however that works. But this is what I was seeing today. And then I was told there will be a switching happening of movement of planets in this solar system. This will be noticeable. So noticeable, we're going to start seeing, changes in our skies. This is what I get from this, of our other planets or in our solar system. And so they may be in another place, or they may come closer, they may go further away, or they'll travel into another system. Because this is some of the stuff I was saying, 20 years or 20 some years ago when I first started writing my books, that we're moving, our solar Earth, and is moving to a whole nother system. So that might be part of our solar system moving. So I can't recall if I got all that information. And so you may see, where we saw, if, for instance, I'm really not sure if this is what's happening right now, but I'm just going to throw this out. Most of us know where Orion's belt is, Sirius, and Big Dipper, Little Dipper, all of those that are familiar with constellations. I may start seeing them in different places in the skies, or they seem closer or further away, whatever it is, because we're moving and changing positions going into, I was told, the Sirian system and Palladian system. So, what that all looks like, my visions of old, it's like Earth moving through a wormhole, so to speak. And then I remember, I could see as it was emerging out of this wormhole, bright white light. And it's like a whole new Earth. So is that a metaphor as to what we're doing, or is that something that is actually happening? I'm not sure. I think it may be actually happening.
Well,
we see it differently.
Even biblically speaking, it talks about signs in the heavens, obvious signs that really get people's attention. So
yeah. Yeah, a lot of things in the heavens are getting people's attention.
Mhm.
There's a lot of UAPs, various things showing up, almost daily, and from a distance. Nobody's taken up that I know of has taken a picture up close. And I've listened to some people that have been in some of these ships, and they will describe what they see, or the arcs that are underground or under their waters, which are actually ships, and what they are seeing there. So there's just so much now that's coming forth that, like, hey guys, you're not the only ones on this earth, and other types of beings on this earth are in this earth or walking around with us. We just don't know it. Now, can they morph into another being? We talked about that lady last time on our podcast, a lady that was on that airplane and was very frightened of who she was sitting next to, and got up and would not go back to her seat. So just little things like, and I don't know how little that is, things like that, where people will see other people with unusual eyes or mannerisms or whatever it may be. And I feel that this is going to continue.
Increase. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and increase. Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right. Please share.
Okay, this is what I got. It behooves us to address a certain subject. Within the confines of time, there is only the need to be proactive, to be real and genuine, in order for the plan of all plans to be completed, unimpeded by non-productive energies or influences. And I pose the question, who is speaking? The answer, we are the keepers of time, the guardians keeping watch on all the systems of manifestation. You know us as we have worked together many times in many eras, bygone to present. And I posed another question. You spoke of plan of plans. What does that mean? The entire species of human development is raising, as you well know. The timing for this to meld seamlessly with the raising of creation's firmament is fast approaching, as the earth and other celestials have their timing, and humankind has its timing as well. But the splendor that approaches is, in its very being, truly magnificent, beyond words. You are changing, my dear, and its timing is impeccable. So with them saying that at the end, they're speaking to all of us. The timing for each one of us is impeccable. And we are here for a great reason right now, to assist, to play our part, to observe, and to do whatever it is that we came to do, to take part in this beautiful transition that the earth is going through, this raising, and talking about the raising in vibration, which changes the whole ball game.
Yeah, sure does. And it brings to mind I feel that people are going to ask, well, who is what is changing our vibratory frequency, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I've been getting for receiving, okay, we say getting, insights that we get, and that's what we're doing here. These are our insights and our opinions, by the way, all disclaimers out in the open, is that we're the ones that set this up. We are the designers. We are the architects. And so there's so much more to each one of us within the physical and consciousness beyond the physical. And so we're the ones that are making these decisions because we are all part of creator source, or whatever terminology you want to use. So, yeah, so there's nobody doing this to us. now within the whole of ourselves, along with the whole of all humanity and beyond. We are one. And a lot of these beings that are here assisting us, and there are quite a few that are here. Again, we see a lot of ships, and they're here to help with this plan of all plans. And and so they're like us. Some of them are well advanced in their technology, but that doesn't mean that they're all separate from us. We see them as such.
Yeah, I'm reminded of some of the words from the Desiderado. If I can remember the words correctly, please look it up to make sure I got it right. But it states, you are a child of the universe. No less than the trees and the stars, you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt, the universe is unfolding as it should. So if your world feels like it's crumbling, just think on that. You can find those words online anywhere, I'm sure. But just think on that. You have a right to be here. You're beautiful. You're no less than anything or anybody else. You're beautiful. And you have a part to play.
Yeah. Otherwise you wouldn't be here.
That's right.
So, yeah. Realize it. Real eyes. That has two different meanings.
Mm-hmm.
And so our eyes are opening to the bigger picture, so to speak, because it's definitely a bigger picture is being shown. All will be disclosed. And, people will, with the government's closing down or being dismantled, people may feel like they're floundering, but I see it, that people would be coming together. And because of that, we're each going to find a strength, our own inner strength. And then when all of us together have that strength, I think we're going to see absolute wonders.
Yeah, sometimes the tough times are what brings out our creative abilities, our ingenuity to do things together, to do really nice things together. So you have to put forth the effort. And so we're being pushed to do that.
We're pushing ourselves. Yes, we are. We are, yeah, definitely. Well, I was going to go somewhere, and that kind of left me. It's just, taking a look at the world, our world, and all the worlds around us. And, all the action that is taking place on this earth, in our skies, and it's us taking our own action. And that action should be with ourselves and understanding ourselves. That's an action in and of itself. And nothing's right, nothing, or wrong by doing that. If that's what one wants to do, that's what they need to do for themselves. So, our opinions, and sometimes we get a little critical and judgmental, and then we realize, well, wait a minute, do I even have that right?
And a lot of times we're just spitting things out because that's what we hear other people doing. You turn on the TV and you're bombarded with it. So my advice is, how about let's be genuine and be real to ourselves, and not just spit back the stuff that we're hearing.
Even though a lot of the things we're hearing, it gets repeated and repeated and repeated. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, because it's repeated so much, that's a psychological thing going on to dumb us down, so to speak. And then we buy into it, because if it's repeated enough, it becomes a truth, when indeed it's not a truth.
Yeah.
And that's what's being exposed.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, nope, humanity is not going to be squashed anymore.
Yeah, be real.
Because we're real. And be honest with yourself. And it's tough for a lot of people because it's all these shoulds and talking about your points that you started the podcast with on relationships with ourselves and with others. Be honest when you're looking at that. There's no shoulds in there.
Yeah, you know what, we've gotten so used to doing what's always been that it's become a bit difficult to actually know what your own thoughts are. So if somebody asks you, like, hey, where do you want to eat for lunch? If you've been actually thinking about it,
yeah.
and you have an idea within yourself, and just come out with it. Don't do the dummy thing that's always been. Oh, I don't know. Where do you want to go? That's old. We've done that. It doesn't serve us anymore. Spit it out. Talk.
If you know.
Yeah, if you know.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, that was just a for instance, but actually be yourself and speak your truth. You don't have to cover it up.
Yeah. What are we afraid of? Of being judged? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what the past was.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore.
How much do we really care about what somebody else thinks of us? That's a tough one.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, sit with that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we care?
Yeah. I've voiced to you, I was in a quandary about something a while back, and I said, I really don't want to do something, and please help me to figure this out. And it was something old that was bubbling up. It wasn't even something that was real now. So if that's coming up with me, I'm sure that it's coming up with others. So just realize that, we're getting rid of a lot of baggage that does not suit anymore.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Yeah, because sometimes you don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Realize through our real eyes. But yeah, it is. And having good friends that, will say, hey, this is, it's okay if I speak up. And otherwise you wouldn't be calling, right? But go ahead, and it's what you see. And if that's what the other person needs to realize or not, and there might be discussion going back and forth, but
at least the dialogue's opened.
Yes.
So like Bev and I, our relationship is true friendship, and I'm so grateful that it has progressed to the point that it's at now, because there was a time when I did not voice my true thoughts because I don't want Bev to think badly of me,
Yeah.
Oh, how stupid. That wastes a lot of time.
Sure does.
Yeah, so just be real with yourself and with others.
Yeah, there's no need to shrink
until
what we shrink into ourselves. It's like, no, we're moving out of that stage.
Yeah, well, I was with you one time. We were on a trip someplace, and we were meditating, and I was holding back from saying what my true thoughts were, and I heard very clearly in my head, don't do that. So that was my first wake-up call.
Like, oh, yeah, I am doing that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not little. Do not belittle yourself.
Yeah.
We're done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're moving on. All right. Well, thank you all for joining this today, and for this episode 99. Wow, we're almost to 100, and but you're 2.5 years. So anyway, we appreciate you all listening, and to help understand really what we're all about as humanity, the earth, beyond, all of it. And we're doing all this together. And I know we truly, speaking for myself, truly really feel good about sharing, my insights. Yeah, I really can't speak for you. My insights and doing this, it's just I love to share, and I do feel, yes, we have a lot to share, and I would love to hear any of your own insights, or what if you want to share what you're going through, or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. To help you help yourself, and you also assist others in realizing what's inside of them that may need to come out, or to be shining, shown on. So anyway, no more holding back. We're not that type of being anymore.
No, we're raising in vibration because we want to raise.
Exactly. You remember, we're the architects, we're the designers of all of this.
Yeah.
Well, what the heck, But,
and there's a lot of people out there who are having tough times getting through all of this that we've all been going through, and my heart goes out to you. But I want to offer this: if you need a friend, you need not look any further than the mirror. You are your own best friend, or you are your own worst enemy, and that's a choice to make. But with the interaction with other people, if you want a friend, be a friend. Reach out to somebody else, and that sort of thing is catching, something you can pass along. So that helps us all. That gets an energy rolling.
Mm-hmm. Sure does. It's called the ripple effect. So yeah, definitely. Well, again, exciting times. I think they're very exciting. I think liberating.
Yeah,
that's a word we haven't used tonight, but it is liberating.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole newfound freedom to be totally ourselves. We come together in gratitude and respect and love and peace, and we're going into a whole new world. It's last words I got today were new eyes cast upon the waters of new life now breaking forth. So we're seeing ourselves differently, and how grand we are. All right.
It's a lovely thing to behold.
Sure is.
Well, we love you very much, and please have a blessed few weeks until we meet again. And please know that I love you very much, and I am grateful that you have stayed.
Thank you. All right, our next episode is 2 weeks from tonight, and today is Tuesday. It's going to be on August the 8th, 2023, and that's the opening of Lionsgate. And it's usually a quite phenomenal time as I don't know if I can repeat what the Lionsgate is, but we're starting to see a lot of people speaking out about it. But in the past, I didn't think I felt anything on the Lionsgate until I started seeing myself go through a lion's mouth. And I wasn't the only one doing it.
Yeah,
the gentleman I was talking with quite a bit at that time, or a few years back, I said, yeah, I did say that. However, this is what's happening. And he said, same thing with me. And so obviously it affects us, and some of us see, things going on, and some don't. It's, whatever each of our paths are. But it's like, okay, I won't discount that again. But it's indeed a powerful, energetic time that we're in right now. And it just, again, more things are going to be revealed to the world. And yes, there is now, but it is time to take action on some of these things. And maybe just action within ourselves through meditation, through prayer, or actually out talking to people. So, if you want a friend or a group or whatever, there are groups out there that can assist with this. I said that without saying who they are because I'm not sure what that is for you, but there are some online as well as some that are through Zoom calls that will help through these processes that are happening now.
Yes, and just use your discernment when you search them out.
Definitely.
If you get a slight twinge, that's yourself trying to tell you, you might want to keep looking.
Yeah, until it's totally comfortable.
Yes.
For you. Mm-hmm. All right. If you want to contact Royce or myself or Terry Palma, the phone number is, and that's to leave your name and your number. It's 864-999-3008. And I know I do a lot of counseling. I do a lot of online on the phone counseling. And Royce, I think you do much the same.
Yeah, and I've been enjoying doing some energy work with a neighbor here lately, so that's been a lot of fun. You think you know the people living on your street, and then until something brings you together and you open up in conversation, and then you get to learn each other, and that's really nice.
It is. It's fun. It's actually fun. It's interesting. All right. Again, thank you for joining us, and we will be back in 2 weeks. Have a lovely next 2 weeks, and good night.
Good night.